Amelia went from being like a happy, social, active kid, a 12-year-old with friends that liked doing dance, that liked playing sport, to a kid that can't go to school, that doesn't have friends, that sometimes can't talk, that has huge problems with memory to the point where she sometimes doesn't know who I am as her mum, and it's completely changed her life. Amelia loses consciousness at the moment every 3 days, but by the end of term last year, it was daily. We've never got further than 5 days in 18 months.
So I have a condition called FND, which is Functional Neurological Disorder, which makes my brain sends the wrong signals, or not send them at all, which makes me go unconscious, and then when I wake up I have limited memory for a while.
I walked in and I saw my child blue on the floor and completely unresponsive again, completely floppy, and this time when the ambulance came they wouldn't even leave the school grounds because they were so concerned about her presentation. And so we went, the highest status you can to hospital, where more and more tests were carried out, still with no answers. Then when the next one happened, we completely lost her. Amelia lost all memory of who she was, including her date of birth, where she lived, what she looked like in the mirror, what siblings she had, who we were, and she was terrified of us, absolutely terrified. She'd spent a whole day hiding down the side of her bed. We had to take everything out of her bedroom. We had to take everything off the walls. We had to take away her bedside table. We had to leave only a mattress in there. It's indescribable. You say, I'm your mum, and we had to create all of these resources with pictures of people and names so that she could kind of start to recognise people, because what would happen is she would lose consciousness, and when she came to, she'd have no memory and be really disoriented. But everything she learnt from that point she would retain until the next loss of consciousness. And sometimes we had like 11 in a day. And so when we got to the stage where she was having 11 in a day, she didn't know how to drink. She didn't really understand how to eat. Like, she was absolutely gone. She lost the ability to read. The day that I realised that she couldn't write, that was really shocking, because she'd been colouring in and I was really confused. How can you colour in but you can't write to Dad?
A lot of the time I can't speak, and that's just like, I know what I want to say, but it just doesn't come out. And I used to not be able to write, I used to not be able to read, but I've relearnt that. And straight after an episode I can't read or write, but it gets better, gets more clear. There are a few things that I almost is guaranteed that I'll forget. So one is brushing my teeth. I now have a little thing on my bathroom window that tells me how to brush my teeth. Sometimes it's putting on a seatbelt. Almost all the time it's how to take a pill. And sometimes it's how to drink out of my drink bottle. It's like waking up in another world, but you don't know what world you've come from.
To have that fear in your child's eyes when you're meant to be the safe person for them, I can't think of anything worse. Functional neurological disorder is a diagnosis that's kind of given once you've excluded all of the physical causes for neurological symptoms. So you know that there's nothing growing where it shouldn't be, or bleeding, or no seizure activity, it's not medication, etc. However, it doesn't really have a home, because it lives at kind of the intersection of neurology and psychiatry. It's not a mental health condition. It's not able to be treated by medication or anything like that. But equally, there's nothing to cut out or zap into place from a neurological point of view. Realistically, there is not going to be someone that's going to be able to come and say, hey, this is what's caused it, this is what's happened, and this is how you treat it. We're on our own with it. Sammy kind of came about because I was so desperate for anything proactive that I could do as a mum, other than just sit and watch my child go unconscious over and over again and watch her world get smaller and smaller.
I lost a lot of independence and still don't have a lot of independence. Sammy will be able to hopefully keep me sitting down or keep me in a safe space. He will be able to bark or alert to get help, and then obviously stay with me while help comes. He may be able to alert me to an episode and then just give me some more independence and companionship. I look a bit older than I am and don't look like I have a disability. He is a cue for if I don't speak to someone or I don't act a way you would expect me to act, he's a cue to someone that something else is going on. It's not just being silly or being a teenager. FND is a lot of things and not a lot of things. So it's really, really different for everyone. And that just because somebody doesn't look like they have a disability doesn't mean they don't. Or just because someone does look like they have a disability doesn't mean they do.